Hello again, Daniel.
You'll see me a few times today.
It's all right. Is Mr. Baker going to show up?
Um, After he was tested positive, had a Whiznator, didn't show up for testing on the 5th, a couple days ago. I doubt it, but I didn't think he'd show up for his arraignment.
I went for a walk at lunch and I just barely got back in. I got sidetracked talking to some people. But we're on time.
Was it as nice as yesterday out, or a little cooler?
I think it's actually a little more humid today, but I'm not going to complain about that. It's
Hey,
very
as long as
nice.
there's no white stuff, I'll take it.
Yes.
We were supposed to get rain all this week, and it looks like we're not going to get any.
I thought it might rain tonight, but everybody's grass needs it.
Oh, yes. I put down a lot of fertilizer, and I could definitely use the rain.
It just makes you have to mow it more often.
Yeah, I'm trying to get my grass growing. Last year was my first year with it. This is my second. So I don't have all the spots covered, but it's probably about 85% green. A lot of time and money to get a yard nice.
Yes, it is. Here's Chris. Let's see who this is.
Chris.
Casey Johnson. Let's see who Chris is. Oh, hello, Chris. You're a little early. We're set for 1:30. I'll put you in the waiting room. Daniel and I are discussing whether this defendant is going to appear. Tim George is here.
Good afternoon, Judge. Jason and I were just on the phone, so he's.
Oh, so he's going to be here. Oh, very good.
Yep. And
All
then
right,
once he gets in, can I go into a breakout room with him just for a few minutes?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Mr. Baker.
Good afternoon.
This is file number 202256FH, People versus Jason Robert Baker. Mr. Baker was originally charged with possession of methamphetamine as a felony and pled to a lesser charge of use of methamphetamine, was placed on probation, and Mr. Timothy George was appointed to represent the defendant. He is present. Casey Johnson is here from the prosecuting attorney's office, and Daniel Frazine, the probation agent, is here. Mr. Baker was put on probation last November, and we haven't done real well. Daniel has filed a probation violation petition alleging that you failed to report on a monthly basis, failed to pay fees as directed, $710 balance, failed to abstain from the use of alcohol, failed to participate in treatment and programs, and earlier this week, or maybe earlier last month, you tried to beat a test with a false Whizzinator device. Those are the allegations that you violated your probation. You're entitled to have a hearing on those allegations. This is an arraignment on those charges. You're subject to up to a year in jail on the original charge of use of methamphetamine misdemeanor. At a probation violation hearing, you would be entitled to have an attorney there to represent you, and Mr. George is here. The
I had it down
prosecution.
as a hearing, Your Honor.
Oh, is this
Is
a
this an
hearing?
arraignment?
No, I guess you're right. This is a hearing, PV hearing. Yes, we've had the arraignment. He pled not guilty. We appointed Mr. George. This is the time and date for the hearing where we'll be taking testimony regarding your alleged violation of the probation. Mr. George had asked for an opportunity to talk to you privately. I'm going to put you in a breakout room so you can speak privately with Mr. George. Can you hear me, Mr. Baker?
I can, yes, sir.
All right. This is the part where we sit here and wait.
Did you get my email, Casey, I just sent you?
I did, yeah.
Okay.
It's a whole new world we're living in.
Yeah, as of April 1st.
Yep. It's gonna be a bit of an adjustment.
But if my count's right, I did get 6 technicals, so if I read it right, that means he can get all the deferred days.
Yep. And I was going through and do my own tally, but
Daniel,
Yes, sir.
you mentioned his attempt to circumvent the test with a Whizzinator, but that's not in the report, so that just happened within the last couple of days.
I put a new one in there. There should be, I updated it yesterday, I believe.
I printed it yesterday morning.
Oh, maybe you missed it because
So-
I just talked to the DRC and got the missed test.
All right, then you
He
did
sent me the
update it.
Whizzinator in the lab, so I had something to prove that it actually happened.
All right,
Do you see the new one?
give me a minute.
Okay. Sometimes it doesn't.
I'm gonna go into custom queries. Two oh 256. Only got about 10 applications open.
That's weird. I don't see the updated one, so I'm putting
Yeah, I
it,
don't see it.
I'm putting it in there right now, Your Honor.
All right.
I know I sent it to Casey. I thought I had put it in there, but maybe I didn't.
I lost Chris Hamilton. Good afternoon, sir. Are you Roger Schmidt?
Yes, I am.
All right, thank you for being here. Would you take your hat off, please?
Okay, no problem.
I'll put you in the waiting room. Well, your case is set for 1:30. We're doing another one in the meantime. I'll
Okay,
bring you back in a few minutes.
okay,
Doreen or whoever set the conference room up, thank you for your help.
Okay, it does show that it's in there now, Your Honor.
No, probably got to update. I can't. It's not there yet. Well, that's when I sent him on the 24th.
Yes, Your Honor.
And that was positive.
Yes. If my notes are correct, that's when he said he would absolutely not be positive he was working with CMH for treatment.
Yeah. We have a 130 zoning matter. We have two 130 zoning matters. And then we have another PV at 2:30.
I know that one will be there.
Daniel, could you email that update to
Absolutely.
me, to Casey, and to Tim? Then we can all see it. They can't get it. Please.
They got them yesterday.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, and I don't know why Highland didn't do it. I must have clicked something wrong or. I know sometimes it'll show them probation and it'll take a while to get to the district court.
All right, we're still on the record. Mr. Baker, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
We're turning to the record in file 202556. Could you turn your camera back on?
Oh, sorry.
We are live on YouTube. We are on the Zoom platform, and we are recording this. We were here on the 24th of March, and Mr. Baker was adamant that he was not using methamphetamine and was treating CMH. So I sent him that day to test at the day reporting center, and that didn't go so well. Mr. Frazine did an update. What's the status, Daniel?
Well, on the day that he tested positive for meth. And on 4/2, he was caught with a Whizzinator trying to substitute his urine. And then he was supposed to test on 4/5 and didn't show up, which obviously with everything else doesn't point out to something very good.
All right. Mr. George, what's the status here?
Your Honor, although it wasn't what he was originally arraigned on, my client would acknowledge a violation in the positive test.
All right. Positive test on 324, attempt to get over on the test on April 1. And that was an April Fool joke. And then failed to test on 4/5. Is that true, Mr. Baker? You're going to admit to the positive test on the 24th of March?
Yes, sir.
Anybody threaten you to do that
No,
or promise you anything?
no.
Do you understand that by admitting to that, you're giving that the right to have a probation violation hearing where the matter would have to be proven beyond a probable cause standard, and you'd have a right to have an attorney?
I do understand.
All right. Tell me what's going on. Methamphetamine is very powerfully addictive. You can't turn it off like a switch, but you're jerking our chain. Our goal is to try to get you clean. We're rowing in one direction, you're lying and rowing in the other, which is very often what people that are addicted to methamphetamine do. What's going on?
So, obviously, my first time struggling with this kind of situation, I just wasn't expecting it to be as hard as it has been. I haven't had an opportunity quite yet to start the treatment, and I know that that's not an excuse. However, as far as all the other allegations, that I was arraigned on, none of those, I believe, are true. The only thing that I have failed to do is abscond from the usage of the drug. And
Well, you haven't paid any fees.
Well, I just paid the rest off yesterday, sir.
Oh, did you really?
And I had made a payment of $100 and some odd, and I have to pay Allegan as well. I believe it was brought up at some point in the previous one of the previous sessions that I had a $800 fine to Allegan, and I had 90 days to pay that. So I was kind of using that as precedence over this fine when I had a year to pay. So
You did tell me that, but I put you on probation back in November. So you paid St. Joe County off yesterday?
yes, sir.
All right. Well, Daniel, your original recommendation was, well, I was trying to take him at his word, but I know that people often don't tell the truth when they're addicted, and I want to know, put up or shut up. So he bombed the test, then he got someone else's urine. You were originally just recommending revoking the probation and 89 days in jail. We may be somewhat constrained from that with some of the new legislation that took place April 1st. What's your thought here?
Well, the big, like you said, meth is highly addictive, and you expect the lying to some extent. But what is most concerning is I called CMH. They had tried to get a hold of him a couple times. They haven't reached him. He told the court at his arraignment that he was waiting on a waiting list. That's not true. They've had plenty of opportunities to actually engage in ILP since January. So it's obvious he doesn't really want to overcome this. So I'm still recommending just giving him the deferred time and the loss of the deferral, Your Honor.
All right. Yeah, the lying is the harder part to deal with. You haven't started treatment yet because you haven't started treatment yet. I put you on probation on November 30th. We had December, January, February, March. Now it's April. You're still struggling with addiction. You've done 0 to attend any treatment. Mr. George, what's your thought?
Your Honor, I'll just start there. My client indicated to me, and I asked him, if this was checked into, that it would be confirmed that he is scheduled to start IOP at any time. I think he indicated that they were looking to start as early as today, but obviously he had this hearing and couldn't make it today. I think that this just got off to a rough start, but I don't think it's something that shouldn't be expected when we're dealing with a drug like methamphetamine. I know this court's well aware of the grip that addiction can have on people. This court does a lot of work with alcohol, but also sees a lot of methamphetamine. So, I know that there are some troubling behaviors here, but my client says that he's interested in continuing on with the substance abuse and getting this probation done in a positive way. He reports to me that he's paid everything off as it's owed to the court as of yesterday, that he has new employment at Applebee's, and he's going to be starting that. I was frank with my client and said there's going to be some sanction for a positive test. And, the court's going to be frustrated with some of the behavior, with trying to, hide a test supposedly. But, I have to take my client at his word that he's looking to continue on with this and get it going. And I know we didn't start well, but I think we're starting to gain traction. So I don't think it does this court any good at this point to dispose of Mr. Baker and just defer, impose jail time right off the probation when we're looking like we're possibly getting started. He obviously understands that anything going forward is probably not going to be, a great outcome for him, but he's struggling right now. But I think that he's doing the things that he needs to do to get on the path of a successful completion. So we would simply ask for a sanction for the positive test and to continue on with the probation.
Casey, do you have a position?
Well, Your Honor, my general inclination is to back Mr. Frazine on this. I think that Mr. Baker has shown that he's not only not committed to this probation, but he's actively committed to deceiving the court and the DRC, and only now that we're here has he demonstrated some initiative to try to get out of the way of this, train heading his way. So I'm not convinced that Mr. Baker wants to complete this probation so much as he wants to stay out of jail. That being said, credit where credit is due. He's finally paid his fines and costs. So, if the court decides to continue the probation, I certainly understand why. It's in everyone's best interest that Mr. Baker get on board with the program and do better. It's in his best interest and ours. So I just leave it to the court to decide.
Mr. Baker, tell me about your job at Applebee's.
I'm basically a line cook. My stepbrother works there, and they hired me really quickly. I have a lot of previous kitchen experience from working in Kalamazoo, several different places.
Who's your stepbrother?
Alex Harbin.
Okay. Who are you to Miles Baker?
It's not sound familiar to me.
All right. I had him yesterday. Tell me about CMH.
I basically had missed my first appointment. Well, not the first appointment. I did the intake treatment over the phone for a couple hours. I talked to her.
When was that?
That was right after, it was in January, right after I spoke with the PO, with Mr. Frazine. I called her immediately after that. I had yet to be aware of the process I should have been undergoing because I thought he was going to reach out to me And he said I was supposed to reach out to him. So that was just a big miscommunication from the very beginning. And then I missed my very first appointment after I did that with her, the very next one with the actual staff member there I was going to be working with. And I had tried to reach her and I couldn't get it. Like, for some reason, I couldn't get through to her. I was calling the number, I was leaving voicemails, but there was nobody answering. So she told me it was 100%.
Who was that person?
Well, Christine, I believe, was the one I was trying to get a hold of.
Kristen?
Yeah, that's it. Yes, sir. Kristen. I was trying to reach her, but I was speaking with a Lindsay or a Lauren or something at the time. It's been, I honestly
I see
forget.
it made a big impression on you. When did you start at Applebee's?
Well, the week and a half ago was my first, it was orientation.
Have you actually started cooking there?
Mostly just training. I haven't really done any of the cooking quite yet. I've done a lot of paperwork, a lot of.
Are you going in there and actually working?
Yes, I'm going in there. Yes. They're working with, basically working with my unemployment right now, as I'm still eligible for a phase-out period of unemployment. So I have to keep my hours at a certain level in order to receive the unemployment. And not something I'm fond of but I don't really want to miss out on unemployment when they're going to pay me if I can work too.
Well, you're at the Three Rivers one?
Yes.
We'll confirm that.
Okay.
You're very nervous. You got a fidget spinner or something there.
Oh, I'm sorry. I got.
Your hands are right at the front of the screen, so everyone that's watching this is watching you fidget. How much does a Whizzinator cost?
I believe it was $100, give or take.
Well, that was a waste of money. Where'd you get the urine?
It came with synthetic urine.
Who would have thought there had been a market in this world for synthetic urine? If you spend as much time trying to get on the bus as trying to undermine things, maybe you'd be more successful. Daniel makes a good point. Now, what I found so far is the most effective treatment for methamphetamine is about 90 days in jail of forced detoxification. When we just tell people to stop and get into treatment, we have about a universal failure rate. So I'm not surprised that you failed. I'm disappointed that you lied to me and then tried to beat the test. But the new rules that came forth in the Michigan Joint Task Force on Pretrial Incarceration and Jail under the probation section says revocation of probation and subsequent incarceration should be imposed only for repeated technical violations, new criminal behavior, or upon request of the probationer. You're not asking that it be revoked. This is actually your first series of technical violations. So I'm somewhat constrained under the law on what I can do as of April 1st. I don't want you to lose this job, but Daniel, I want you to confirm that he's got a job at Applebee's. This whole thing sounds a bit fishy. And I want a release from CMH and see what he's doing. I'm ordering 5 days in jail, which shall be scheduled by the probation department. Probation is continued. What's the name of your boss?
And I always have problems with this. It's Mark or?
I have a 50-50 bet whether you're actually working at Applebee's or not. Daniel's going to call there here in the next 15 minutes. All right, I want you to, as soon as we hang up, Daniel, will you call him? All right, Daniel will call you.
Yeah, I can call him.
5 days jail, credit 0, to be scheduled by the probation department. Probation is continued with all the existing conditions. If you continue to have violations, you're subject to up to a year in jail. We'll get you detoxed, all right. I'm not mad so much as I am disappointed, but people lie to me all the time. If you're not working at Applebee's, we're going to have another discussion about what to do for a sentence, which means you're still lying and we're not getting the truth.
Well, can I just be clear?
Yes.
That I have been scheduled to work at Applebee's, so I've only gone to Applebee's to work one time.
That's different than a week and a half. Well, we're going to find out where you're even there. You're still lying to me.
No, I'm not.
Would you like to lie yourself into like 364 additional days in jail? This ain't going to work unless you lay it out there. You're still jerking me around.
I'm trying to make it clear that they have been, leaving me voicemails to come back in and get done with orientation, and I haven't been.
Well, what kind of crap? Who wants to hire somebody that have to call and ask you to come in for probation? I'm betting 70.
I'll call him right now, Your Honor.
All right, put Jason in the waiting room. Can you hear me now?
Hello?
Yeah, my wife accused me of not listening to her, but I thought everything went there.
I had a telephone number. Who is 269-483-7109?
White Pigeon Police, Officer Alley.
All right, thank you. Let me give you a name. Officer Ali?
Yes, sir.
I forgot what you look like. I can't see you. You just look like a blank screen.
Well, that's because I'm on the phone and I can't log into Zoom with their computer.
All right. Well, it's nice talking to you. I haven't talked to you in a long time, and I know you're still out there in White Pigeon. Which case are you here on?
I am here on People versus William Teets. Our complaint number is.
All right, that's the right case.
1432-19.
All right. You're in the right place. All right, we're in the middle of a probation violation hearing where the judge is somewhat suspicious of what he was told by the defendant. Mr. Roger Schmidt is here in the conference room. Mr. William Teets is not here. Teets is a White Pigeon case, and Schmidt is a Sherman Township case. Miss Chris Hamilton is here for Sherman Township, I think. Are you here on both of these, Chris?
I'm here on the Schmidt case.
All right. And let's wait just a minute. If we can finish this probation violation, it'll clear the decks for what we need to do with our next cases.
It's okay by me.
All right. Mr. Schmidt, I brought you in. You're welcome to watch what we're doing here. This is a public proceeding. In fact, it's so public, we're presently broadcasting it on YouTube. Once upon a time, people could come into the courtroom and watch. It didn't happen much, but it was possible. I had a small group of people that would come in and watch. I had an old gentleman when I first started. He was in his 90s, he came in to make sure I was doing things right. Anyway, now our public audience is via YouTube. But what we're doing is a violation of a probation on someone that was charged with use of methamphetamine. And
I missed where we're at. Are you starting another case or are you waiting for me to?
no, I waited for you.
Exactly what we thought.
Oh, hold it.
Oh, sorry.
Waiting for Mr. Tim George to come back to us. We've got some other viewers here, but Daniel, what did you find from contacting Applebee's?
I spoke to the manager. He paused and he goes, well, technically, yes, we did hire Mr. Baker. He never even came in for orientation. Basically, they hired him and he disappeared. So he never did any training. He never showed up after that.
Jason, you're in rough shape. I'm going to order 10 days jail, credit 0. Your probation is continued. You're to report to the jail by 5 p.m. today. Today is April.
Sir?
Sir, don't make it any worse.
I'm just trying to request. I would like to work there. I just have to call them back.
Well, you must not want to work very badly. They have
I don't think
you're going to jail for 10 days. If you'd like to continue to discuss it, we could do 180 or so. You're lying to me. You're lying about your testing. You're lying about your using. You're lying about your employment. And don't lie anymore to just make it any worse. I'm going to give you 10 days of a starter to get detox from methamphetamine. Then perhaps we can have some success in pursuing treatment. You're lying to yourself, you're lying to me, and you're lying to everybody who's watching this proceeding. I want you to go to the jail today by 4 o'clock. You owe 10 days jail. Your probation is continued. Thank you, Tim.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Hey, Judge.
All right. Now, I've got White Pigeon PD on also. Roxanne, it's safe for you to join us now. Oh, we got Dave Ali, Living Color.
In color, sir.
I like to, never mind. Mr. Schmidt, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right, you got a little bit of our probation violation docket. Let me give you a name here. All right, I've logged in under probation violation hearing, but we're going to move to zoning hearing. I'm not going to start all over again. This is file 202735. It's entitled Sherman Township versus Roger Schmidt. Mr. Schmidt is here at the court in the conference room. Mr. Schmidt, I do appreciate your taking this matter seriously and coming up to the courthouse. There are two files, file 202746ON and 2735ON. Ms. Chris Hamilton from on behalf of Sherman Township is here, and Ms. Roxanne Sieber is here.
Chris Hamilton.
Chris Hamilton. All right, so Ms. Hamilton, would you raise your right hand? Mr. Schmidt, would you raise your right hand? You swear or affirm any testimony you're about to give here will be true to the best of your knowledge and belief?
Yes.
Mr. Schmidt, you got a number of citations after a bunch of warnings, and you got a plea letter back in December of 2018. You set up a payment plan I did a compliance order, ordering that you comply with the conditions of the order. They allege that you're failing to comply with those conditions, and they sent me a report with photographs.
Well,
Ms.
they ain't been out there taking pictures in the last few days. The
Yes,
pictures just
let's
showed
find.
me.
All right, well, hold on. We'll find out about that in a minute. Ms. Sieber, you got a little ahead of me here with your screen sharing, but why don't you first inquire of Ms. Hamilton about the circumstances for her report?
I will do that. Thank you. Ms. Hamilton, you are the zoning administrator and ordinance enforcement officer for Sherman Township in St. Joseph County. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
And you are familiar with the property located at 66872 Sherman Mill Road, correct?
Yes, yes, I am.
You know that Mr. Schmidt, who is sitting here in what looks to be the courthouse pretrial room, is the owner of that property or occupant?
To the best of my knowledge.
Okay. Now, you are aware that the court entered a compliance order dated January 29th, 2021, in which Mr. Schmidt was ordered to remove the unlicensed inoperable vehicles and parts, remove the litter, and stop allowing people to live in campers, correct?
Yes,
And as a result of that order, did you go out and check the property after March the 1st, 2021?
yes, I did. I was out there on April 1st.
And you took photographs and filed this report. It's a 9-page report. Judge, may I share the screen?
Yeah, just a minute. Are these fair and accurate photographs of what you saw?
Yes,
And the report is your report of this incident?
yes.
All right, I'll receive the report and photographs as Plaintiff's Exhibit 1 for this hearing. Yes, you may share.
Okay, Ms. Hamilton, you can see the screen here with
Yes.
the photographs you took.
Yep.
The incident report just basically indicates that you went out there and took photographs, correct?
Yes,
And then these photographs here, starting with this page, those are fair and accurate representations of what you observed on the property.
yes, it is.
Can you indicate to me what items that are shown on this photograph here that constitute violations of the litter or vehicle storage and repair ordinance for Sherman Township?
Well, I see numerous tires there. There's a bunch of metal or something that's fallen down or laying there. Looks like a steel barrel of some kind. Over to the left-hand side, that's a trailer that's full of stuff. On the right-hand side is a fence that's falling down, and there's all kinds of blight and junk behind it. But you have complete access to it. You can see it from the road.
Okay. The trailer is this item?
No, the trailer is a horse trailer.
Okay, let's see. Is that shown? Oh, is that back here?
No, that's not shown on this picture.
Okay, all right, let's continue along here. This is apparently the front of the house?
The front of the house, both of those vehicles are not licensed.
Yeah, they are. That truck I'm driving.
Just a minute, Mr. Schmidt, I'll give you a chance to tell me your side of the story in a minute. When she finishes, I'll hear whatever you want to tell me.
Okay.
If they're
So
licensed.
the white truck doesn't have a plate on it, and neither does the other one. And if it does, it's a 2020 tag. So they're not currently registered. If they are, it's not on the vehicles. There's the white SUV, and that has a May 2020 tag. There's the side view of it.
Okay, what about over on this side?
Yep, yes, I took pictures of that side.
Are those violations of the litter
Yes.
ordinance?
Yes. There's a better view of it. The trailer, I'm not sure what it could be used for. Some of the tires are flat, a lot of paraphernalia around it. The logs back here are in disarray, but behind the house and around the logs is a whole bunch more junk.
Okay. I'll move down here to some more photographs. Does this look like kind of what you can observe behind the logs?
Yes, and as you go around behind the house there was an old shed that is completely collapsed, and it's embodied in all of that brush that's grown over, but it's all collapsed down on itself.
Okay. And there's the horse trailer?
There's the horse trailer.
Okay, what is the deal with this, with the chairs in front and the grill? Is this what you thought maybe somebody was living in?
Well, previously on the opposite side of there, and there probably are some pictures, there's a fence put up. And inside of there was a picnic table with an umbrella, chairs to sit in, you know, a way to go in and out of the trailer. I couldn't see in the trailer other than through some of the windows that there were mattresses and pillows and all kinds of things in there.
And this then just kind of like bags of trash?
Yes, bags of trash.
Did you ever,
Behind the fence there, that's by the tree, that's all junk and garbage.
did you ever talk to anybody that was utilizing this trailer for shelter that you know of?
No, not that I know of.
And then we've
Now,
got,
let me stop you. The time capture on there says 3/31/21. Is that incorrect? Was it actually April 1st?
It may have been, I wrote on my report April 1st, so I would say it
3:30
was on a Thursday on April 1st.
yeah.
Thursday is April 1st.
Yep. And Wednesday would have been 3/31.
All right.
So you were on the property on Thursday then?
Yes.
Then this is a kind of next to the horse trailer. This is what's in the back of, is this on the porch of Mr.?
That's a collapsing deck with junk on it. Now there's the other trailer that they put a bunch of junk on. This is a burn pile that right now he's got logs on it, but I have viewed all kinds of kitchen plastic jugs, pop cans, tin cans, garbage that has been thrown on that pile that is eventually burned off, which of course he can't burn. These chairs and stuff are old chairs like you'd get out of a doctor's office. There's a office chair, there's a porta potty. They have like an electric scooter chair. And then there's that fence that's back there that you can see all that garbage behind there.
Does that look like metal?
Yep.
Is he collecting metal to sell it or?
I don't know. It's mixed up with so many things, I'm not sure.
Is the boat registered?
No,
And the boat trailer?
no, none of that's been sitting there for a long time. There's behind that fence. Now this is the fence that's directly behind the house, and where you can see chain link fence, and you come to the end of that fence that's there, it looks like a peak. That's the peak of that collapsed shed.
Oh, wow, okay.
And I don't know what the barrels are for. This is what's between the horse trailer and the deck.
And these items are violations. You can't just store all this kind of stuff
No,
outside.
no.
Now, oh, here's the shed.
Yep.
It's just more of the
More
property.
of the same all the way around.
You've been familiar with this property for quite a few years, is that correct?
Absolutely.
And so do you have an opinion as to what is going on out here? Is he scrapping? Is he bringing new stuff in and carrying it out, or?
No, that's not what I don't see him bringing. If he's bringing new stuff in, he's carrying it out right away. But what I see here now is what has been here before. And we've asked him to clean it up, and I don't know if he cleans it up and throws it behind the fence and the fences are just rotting and going away. I'm not sure.
So
But I'm not sure I saw a whole lot of value of anything there to be scrapped.
So township would go out there and just kind of clean all this up and charge him if we were allowed to, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. I have no additional questions.
Mr. Schmidt,
Yeah.
I'm going to give you a chance to tell me your side of the story, but before we do that, is there anything you wish to ask of Ms. Hamilton? Roxanne, could I have my screen back?
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, I can see better. All right, Mr. Schmidt, you're under oath. What do you want to tell me?
Well, if they go back out there and drive by, we called out 4 loads of scrap. All the tires are gone. What's left of that burner pile is not a burner pile. She needs to walk up to it and look at it. It is a pile of dirt. I paid $400 to get rid of that burner pile. I had to haul that burner pile to the landfill. All the tires are gone from out there and everything. We have got to get a truckload of stuff before we can haul it to the landfill. That means we've got to throw stuff in a pile until we get a truckload and then haul it away. I think we've made pretty good progress. All that stuff there next to the fence, it was next to my porch, outside the fence has been cleaned up.
All right. Who else
I
lives
hauled
there?
away both of the trucks that sat there. They went to the scrap. I hauled away that SUV and my white truck that they had pictures of. I'm using it. I'm driving it. There's insurance on that truck. The state of Michigan says that you can drive a truck or a car until you get into the license bureau to get plates. And that's what I'm doing. If they was to drive by there right now, my truck is hooked to that trailer.
Okay.
And we're in the progress of hauling away that aluminum that's inside the fence. And I have intentions, when we get all done there, cleaning the barn up and cleaning the stuff up next to the porch, to take down most of that fence in the side yard.
Mr. Schmidt, who else lives at this house?
There's me and another couple. I've got 2 people helping me. I got my little nephew. He goes.
Well, you mentioned your wife. Does she live there also?
No, I am not married.
Oh, I thought you said your wife's truck.
No. The other car belongs to the young lady that's going with the young man that's living with me. And that car is gone too. That car is gone to the scrap. And so's that trailer that she took a picture of.
All right. Well, that's a good start. This looks like somebody dropped a big one on your house, and this isn't like just accumulate over the last week. This is 50 years worth of accumulated junk. In addition, this is a huge fire hazard. That broken down shed and all that scrap wood and all that stuff back in there is just one spark away from a great big fire.
I understand that.
So you got 30 days, and then the township's going to come in and clean up what you did not. Ms. Sieber, what would you ask for?
There's no way we're going to be able to clean all that up in 30 days, Your Honor.
Well, then the township's going to come do it.
I think we've made a pretty good progress now if they was to drive by and look. I cannot afford that. I live on $798 a month.
All right, just a minute.
And I cannot get out.
Well, that is an issue. I'll take you at face value, Mr. Schmidt. But you've been ignoring this for years. And now that I'm about to drop the hammer on you, I don't know that you're going to be able to clean it up. I don't know you're ever going to be able to clean it up. If I wait for you to clean... I'm sorry, sir. Only one of us can talk at a time. It would never get cleaned up. I don't know if I'll live long enough.
We've made good progress now. We ought to come out there and look.
Well,
I got 2 people working on it right now. And my little nephew, he goes to work at 6 in the morning. And don't get out till 4:30.
All right, calm down. What about that trailer, that utility trailer with flat tires? What's the status of that?
Utility trailer, that's the one I got rid of. It's not.
How about the horse trailer?
If they take that horse trailer away from us, what are we going to use for storage? It's full of stuff out of my house and everything else.
Well, as a rule, you can't use something like that for storage.
Get a plate for it?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that part.
Why can't we just go get a license plate for it?
Well, perhaps, but I do this every Wednesday afternoon, or twice a month perhaps, all over the county. And this is one of the messiest properties I've seen in a while.
Oh, no, there's one a lot worse than that in the township, but I can take you there.
Well, all right.
Just
Well,
down the road from the township hall, across from a bird sanctuary or whatever it is. He's got more stuff sitting around than I have.
all right, well, we'll deal with him separately. But you're not going to do this unless I keep your feet to the fire. What the township proposes to do is hire a company to come in and haul all this away, which would greatly increase the value of your property. You're a hoarder. I hate to see what the inside of the house looks like. If it looks like this on the outside, you probably got 50 years worth of accumulated stuff. And people do this. It's some measure of a psychological disorder. And so one man's junk is another man's treasure. But this is bad, and it is a fire hazard. Are you employed or you're on disability?
Oh, I'm on disability, I'm on SSI. I get $798 a month.
Did you inherit this house from your parents?
No, my grandma bought it for me.
How long have you lived there?
35 years.
I'm sorry, it's only 35 years of accumulated junk, not 50. Roxanne, do we have a date, an upcoming date?
We do not have an upcoming date scheduled.
Mr. Schmidt, these things kind of go in cycles. We try to get as much done as we can accomplish in the spring and summer. It's hard to get people to clean things up in January and February, and even November and December and March things start to open up. But I don't want this property to burn up the neighborhood, and we'll deal with the other guy with the junk. That we only do one case at a time. Let's set a review date, Roxanne.
How about if they do this?
What?
Okay? How about if they give us 2 months to clean up, and they come out and look? Believe me, there's going to be a big difference. But I got to know if we can have that horse tower. If I got to move that horse tower, they're taking away our total storage. We are not going to have no storage at all, and I cannot afford to go buy a storage tank.
All right, just a minute. If it's licensed, can he keep it there?
It has to be licensed, operable, regularly used for its intended purpose.
And Sherman Township actually has a section in their ordinance that says you can't use semi-trailers, trailers.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, they actually have it in their zoning that says you can't do that.
Well,
and I do believe that there is a truck parked behind that little fence right next to the trailer. Is that truck still there?
A red truck?
No, any truck behind the fence that's right next to the trailer.
It is gone.
Okay.
All right. Well, I'm going to be here for another 12 years. Give or take. Probably 85 years old. June 9th at 1:30. All right, we'll see what you can accomplish in 60 days now that winter is over. I'll take you at your word that you've been making an effort to get rid of some things. Let me give you a heads up. Next Saturday at the fairgrounds, the county's recycling spring project is in effect. You can take the tires over there for $2 a piece.
Tires are gone, Your Honor, from down here.
All right, what'd you do with them?
I took them to a friend of mine. He's going to use them for something. What he's going to use them for, I can't tell you. He just said.
I guess I don't even want to know where that is. I'll have another
I
case.
just took them there because he said he wasn't using them and they weren't on my property no more.
All right, maybe it's in Indiana or something. All right, June 9th at 1:30. See how much you can accomplish. I don't know what you're gonna do about that shed.
We're just gonna tear that shed apart. We're gonna take it over to my sister's and she's gonna stuff it in her outdoor wood stove. Because they use that to heat their water with.
That's a good plan. All right, we'll continue it. I know this is important to you and this is your home, but in this day and age, almost every township and village in the county has got ordinances against 35 years of accumulated junk. And I do this, I call it uncharitably Groundhog Day, because it's like doing the same thing over and over again, but we do it and we try to clean the parcels up one at a time. For the last 18 years, we've made quite a bit of progress. I'll see you on June 9th at 1:30 and we'll see how much you've done. You're to cooperate with Miss Hamilton. She'll come do an inspection before that.
As far as my back porch falling down, it's not falling down. I don't have.
Well, maybe it just looks like it because there's so much junk on it. Your house will be better if you can get rid of all this stuff. Everything will be better. Mr. Schmidt, what year were you born?
I was born in 61.
All right.
March 18th of 61. I just had a birthday. I just turned 60 years old.
I got 5 years and 6 months on you, so you should be able to do some of this. Hopefully you get some help.
I got 2 people helping me.
All right, let's see what you can do by June 9th. All right, sir, you're free to go. And you're welcome to come.
I can't guarantee you that horse trailer is going to be moved, but I'll do the best I can as far as, because it's full of stuff.
All right, we'll see where we are.
I don't have any idea what I'm going to even use for storage.
What are you storing it for?
I got stuff in there out of my house. I got stuff in there that we take to Trent or swap meets and stuff like that.
All right, well, I'm not sure what happens with a lot of this stuff. When the people pass away, their kin have to come throw it all away. Let's see what you can accomplish by June 9th, all right?
Oh, we're going to be able to accomplish a lot because that backyard's almost done.
Very good. I may take a drive out there myself. It's not on the way to anywhere, but I think I'll eyeball it. All right, sir, I'll see you on June 9th.
Okay, thank you. You have a good day, all of you.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. All right.
Okay, I'm finished,
Well-
right, Roxanne?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day.
All right. All right, our next case, the defendant is not here. It's a white pigeon case, file 193199ON. This is also an old case. The historical fact of these cases, the zoning people work with the people for month after month and year after year, and then it finally gets to me and they're like, I don't know what to do. This is a property that's actually in the village of White Pigeon, 314 East Hodgson Street. It looks on its face like a nice house. There's just too much junk. This one looks like it could actually be remedied. But Ms. Siebert, Mr. Teets isn't here. I want to call you Deputy. Officer Ali, Sergeant, Lieutenant.
That's just officer, sir.
You swear or affirm any testimony you're about to give will be true to the best of your knowledge and belief.
I do, sir.
All right, Ms. Siebert, you may inquire.
Officer Ali, you were asked in preparation for this hearing to go out and take some photographs of the property at 314 Hodgson Street within the village. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
And you took, well, several photographs. It looks like maybe 16 or 17, and emailed those to me, correct?
Yes.
And those photographs fairly and accurately represent the property as you observed it on, what day were you out there?
That would have been the 5th. That was Monday.
Okay. So if I could share the screen here, Your Honor.
Well, just a minute. I'll admit that as exhibit number 1 for plaintiff's case for today. Yes, you may screen share.
Okay. Officer Ali, this appears to be the picture of the backyard of the property.
Yes, it is.
Ordinance violations out there, anything in particular that you see?
Over by your cursor, you've got the debris laying in the yard. Over by right next to the garage, that's the back end of a vintage Ford Courier pickup truck. They only made for a few years in the late 70s, maybe early 80s. Those were popular when I was in high school, so not as old as the judge, but it's unlicensed, and that thing has not moved in months. Also in the back by the porch is some more debris.
Okay. Do you have a historical frame of reference with respect to this property? Have you been out there in the past?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
I towed right behind where the pickup on the left there, the gray one. There was one that was behind that I towed out of there. I believe it was last year or the year before, where they'll bring vehicles in to work on them, and then they either don't get them running or the people who own them don't come and get them, and the vehicles just stay there in violation of the ordinance. We have to go tow the vehicles out of there.
So this one appears to, this vehicle been there for quite a while and unplated?
Yes, ma'am. That vehicle's unplated and it's been there for quite a while. That is new in the past couple of days, the Corvette sitting there.
Yeah.
That wasn't there up until a couple of days ago.
And then that's the vintage truck in the back
That is
there?
the vintage Ford Courier.
Okay.
Off to the left, you've got some axles with some tires on them. And off to the right, alongside the house, you've got bags of raw garbage.
Okay.
And that's piled. I don't know why that's not out by the road with the other toter, because there's another toter up by the road full of garbage.
Okay. It's picture number 5. This just looks like it's another angle from the front yard there.
It is, and you can start to see some of the garbage that's actually laying in the yard, the paper and the cans. And so,
Have you ever had an opportunity to speak with this property owner regarding the condition of the property?
I have. I know Sergeant Zimmer has more than I have, but I explained to him very clearly that you can't just have all those vehicles in there and have them not running. In fact, before we towed it out of there, I let him take a couple batteries out of the bed of the truck because you can get $20 a piece from them. So
It looks like the house has been placed into pretty good condition.
not the inside.
Okay. Yeah, well, we're not talking about
The
that.
outside. The outside. The outside looks nice, and it could be. I mean, it's a very nice looking house.
What is, oh, this is just the power line here in the
That's the
front?
power. We were just commenting on that too. It's kind of low, so I had to
Yeah.
keep an eye on the record when he went in there and got the last truck out of there, so we didn't take it down.
So again, these photographs all pretty much show about the same thing, which is this accumulation of junk and litter in the yard
Yes,
and the unlicensed inoperable motor vehicles.
yes.
And at this time, are you requesting an order permitting the village to go out and remove those items which are offensive and in violation of the ordinance, including all the trash, junk, litter, and the unlicensed and inoperable motor vehicles?
Yes, I am.
Okay. And Your Honor, you've already admitted the photographs here that I've shown on the screen, correct?
Yes.
Okay. I have no additional questions. Officer Ali.
What are you requesting?
I'm requesting the authority for the village to go out and remove all unlicensed inoperable motor vehicles and the parts thereof, all junk, trash, and litter and other ordinance violations maybe after 15 days after the order's entered, because we're going to have to send in an order under the 7-day rule. That's going to take probably 15 days by the time I get it back and served. So it'll probably be the middle of May before we can actually effectuate anything.
That will be the 30 days that I was looking for.
Yeah.
This one isn't as bad. The poor guy in the last case has got 35 years. He's just overwhelmed. This could be cleaned up in a busy Saturday and a trip to the landfill and get the trucks out of there. Now, this is a residential neighborhood. There are houses, and this is in the village limits of the village of White Pigeon. Is that correct, officer?
Yes, sir. It's across the street from Central Elementary School, as a matter of fact. So all the
So everybody that walks to school gets to look at this.
Yes.
And what it looks like is trash just blew all over out in the yard. It's time to start mowing the grass. Hopefully somebody will pick that up, but we're gonna you may submit the order as requested under the 7-day rule, and he'll have 15 days from the date I sign the order to clean it up, or the village can.
Thank you, Your Honor, I'll do that.
I'm surprised, well, I'm not. I got from you and Lance and several others about 30 or more zoning cases just this week from the administrator. So it's springtime. I guess we're going to be busy through the summer. And maybe we'll try to use that June 9th date to schedule some of your other cases.
Yeah, we do have a couple others. I think the Flowerfield one came up, and I think Tab was going to contact you about that. So I'll send her a heads up that there's a potential date there and see what we can do with that.
All right.
Not the bad Flowerfield one.
That man passed away, I believe.
What?
The sawmill place?
No, Mr. Wallace.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm hoping that just somehow resolves itself. Okay, that takes care of our 2 cases for today. I'll make some notes in the file. I've got another probation violation in just a bit. Dave, it's nice to see you. I see some of your reports now and then, but I don't see anybody unless I see them on the virtual screen. All right, we'll be in recess. Thank you. I'll await your order.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I think